The Automotive Repetitive Industry Solution was created by Edi Technologies for manufacturing and distribution companies who supply parts to the OEM automotive companies or their suppliers. Typically, Tier 1, 2, and 3 suppliers have mandates in the form of incoming and outgoing EDI for electronic trading requirements, forecast management, sales order management, material requirements planning, quality management, ECO tracking, and cost management. Functions within this solution include the ability to comply with the OEM automotive requirements, the ability to process incoming EDI orders directly to MAS 500 sales orders and E2B forecast modules, the ability to implement just-in-time production and shipping methodology, including advanced shipment notifications, the ability to process vendor orders through EDI integration with MAS 500 purchase orders, the ability to perform materials planning using MRP and Kanban within MAS 500, and the ability to post-production using repetitive manufacturing techniques. The Automotive Repetitive Industry Solution is written using the MAS 500 toolset and is integrated with MAS 500 Security, Light and Advanced Manufacturing, Inventory Management, Inventory Replenishment, Sales Orders, and Purchase Orders. The Automotive Repetitive Industry Solution is also integrated with other E2B modules such as Sales Forecasting, Kanban, Enhanced MRP, Batch Process Production Entry, EDI Processing, Quality Management, Engineering Change Order Processing, and Cost Modeling. The EDI transactions most commonly used in this environment are 830, which is a planning forecast, 862, which is a line set, 866, which is a line sequence, 856, which is an advanced shipment notification, and 810, which is an invoice. The EDI option screen is divided into inbound and outbound transactions by the upper tabs on the screen. On the inbound tab, 830, 862, and 866 options are defined separately. For 830 processing, check the box to process 830, then enter the name of the saved text file and the location of the text file. Define 862 and 866 inbound processing the same way. On the outbound tab, define the text file name and location for 810, 830, 856, 862, and 866 transaction processing. Setup is also required in the Maintain Customers screen. It is best to use National Account functionality within MAS 500 and define each ship-to location as a customer. Then link the ship-to customer to the National Account ID. This allows the parent to pay for all plant locations. On the Bill to Ship-to tab, enter the ship-to ID sent by the customer in the EDI cross-reference field. On the Sales Order tab, enter the closest warehouse you will ship from. On the EDI tab, enter the partner ID assigned by the customer and check if 810 invoices and 856 advanced shipment notification transactions should be processed for this customer location. Also check if existing forecast data should be cleared when new data is updated to the forecast. The next setup requirement is in the Maintain Customer Item screen, which is located in Inventory Management Maintenance. Define Customer Item ID cross-reference with your internal item ID for all inbound EDI processing if the customer item ID is different than your internal item number. This allows incoming customer data to be converted to your internal item ID nomenclature. The internal finished good item numbers are then entered into a forecast product group for inbound 830 processing. The forecast type is set to customer and item so that quantities for each item will be displayed by ship to customer location. The forecast period type may be set to daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or annually, and reflects the way the 830 is received. The smooth period type should reflect the MRP planning period, and the options are the same as the forecast period type. Setup for outgoing EDI purchasing for items is entered in the Maintain Inventory record for the item by warehouse. The required information is the blanket PO number and line number from the purchasing module. The required transaction sets are checked with the options of 830 and either an 862 or an 866. 830 authorization days and 862 horizon days are also defined here. An EDI tab has been added to the Maintain Vendor screen, where the partner ID and 866 lead time days is entered for each vendor who will be included in outbound EDI processing. All EDI processing tasks are located on the MAS 500 task menu under EDI Processing Activities. Select Processing Incoming 830 to import 830 forecast data from the saved text file. Enter the import file name that represents the saved text file and location, the forecast version, check if existing staging data should be replaced, and check if missing forecast info should be created. This is what the saved text file from Trusted Links for Windows or another translator product would look like. Select Import New Data to import the data into the EDI processor. Select the Import Data tab to review the data. Next, select the Update Stage Data button to stage the data for import into the forecast module. When that's complete, select the Staging Data tab to review the import data for issues or errors prior to updating the data. If no errors exist, select the Post Forecast button to complete the update. The forecast entry screen now contains the customer 830 EDI forecast quantities for item A18-48997-00, customer location 065. 2 quantities were received for this item ship to combination, 87 in week 2 and 110 in week 4. The forecast is then linked to MRP on the Enhanced MRP Generation screen on the Options tab by entering the forecast version. The forecast quantities will be adjusted by actual sales orders as the MRP module plans for work orders, purchase orders, and transfer orders. For processing of incoming 862 line set orders, select Process Incoming 862 from the MAS 500 task menu. Enter the import file name and location that represents the saved text file from Trusted Links for Windows or another EDI translator program, and check if the staging data should be replaced by new import data. This is an example of the saved text file. Select Import New Data to import the data into the EDI processor. Select the Import Data tab to review the data. Select the Update Stage Data button to stage the data for import into MAS 500's Sales Order module. Select the Staging Data tab to review the import data for issues or errors prior to updating the data. You will see that the sales order and release numbers will now appear in the grid. If errors exist, correct the problem and reprocess the data. If no errors exist, select the Post Shipping Info button to complete the update. As a result of the update we just performed, a sales order, number 32, release 001, has been created in MAS 500 as a release against a blanket sales order. 862 sales orders will be created by date required and by ship to customer, including all items required for that date for the combination. In the lower right corner, the customer PO number and PO line that was received with the 862 is stored on the sales order for printing on the invoice and for 856 ASN Processing. The incoming 866 line sequence program works identical to the 862 program, with the exception that the sales order contains the line sequence VIN numbers associated with the items. If the quantity is greater than 1, all VIN numbers are displayed. Outgoing EDI processing to customers includes 856 Advanced Shipping Notification and 810 Invoicing. Both are totally integrated with MAS 500 shipping and invoicing transactions. The 856 ASN Processing screen is found on the MAS 500 task menu under EDI Processing Activities. To process a transaction, select the Save setting, which contains the location of the saved text file that will be updated with new transactions. Then enter the select criteria such as shipment IDs and click the Select button to display the results on the grid below. Then, to complete the transaction, select Generate Export File to create the saved text file for Trusted Links for Windows or another translator to send to the customer. This is the saved text file that was created by the outgoing ASN screen. 810 invoice processing is automatic when register post is processed for customer invoices in MAS 500. The 810 text file is created for those customers designated as requiring 810 invoices. This saved text file is then ready for transmission to the customer by Trusted Links for Windows or another translator product. The outgoing 866 program will create purchase orders to vendors for the line sequenced items. This is determined by the incoming 866 orders from the customer and driven through the bills of material in MAS 500 to determine the specific materials per vehicle. The Select Orders function will define the customer orders to process. The Generate POs function will create blanket purchase order releases. And the Generate Export file will create the saved text file for Trusted Links for Windows to process the export to the vendor. After the MRP plan purchase orders have been converted into blanket PO releases using MRP planning, select the Generate Export File option on the Process Outgoing 862 screen to create the EDI transmission file. The data is exported to the export file name defined on the screen and is now ready for transmission to the vendor using Trusted Links for Windows. The Process Outgoing 830 screen will create the EDI transmission for the planning scenario for the vendors. The 830 forecast will include actual POs in MAS 500 as well as planned POs in the MRP calculation. If this is sent last, it will include all the actual POs created by the 862 and 866 programs, as well as any other planned orders still in the MRP version. The Process Outgoing 830 screen setting defines the export file name and location and the MRP version. Select Generate Export File to create the file for Trusted Links to send to the vendor.